These are the new big cubes that are released by Moyu, the Aochuang V6 and the Aosu V7. First of all, I would like to thank Moyu for sending me these cubes for me to try and review on my channel. So for the Aochuang V6, they sent me the dual track version, and for the Aosu V7, they sent me the triple track version. So these two cubes are a very long-awaited upgrade of the predecessors. The predecessor of this one being the original Aochuang WRM, which was released back in 2020, and the predecessor of this one being the original Aosu WRM, which was released back in 2019. So let's just start with the Aosu V7 first. So this cube has 4 versions, the first 2 being a single track version, but one of them has only piece magnets and non-UV. The other one has piece magnets, but it has UV coating. The other is the dual track version, which has UV coating and piece magnets, but there's also a ball core. And then lastly is the triple track, which is the version I have here, which has all those, but extra piece magnets in the internals. Yeah, so as you can see, there's a magnet in the internal edges. There are 2 here, and there's also 2 here. And the interesting thing is that the piece magnets actually aren't for each other. Like, if you do this, they don't attract each other. The magnets in here only attract to the internal edges. So all of the magnetic pull or force is all in the inside of the cube rather than the outside of the cube, which makes the cube more stable. And just a side note, don't open the edge pieces because there's a magnet in the middle of these two, so if you open it, the magnet's just gonna fly out. So yeah, don't open it. So this cube is 58 millimeters, which is 1 millimeter smaller than the Aosu WRM, which for some people this might be a bit too small for them, but for me this is the perfect size for me. My turning is still pretty much the same as it would be on any other 4x4. So now let's actually talk about how the cube feels. The outer layers are best described by saying that they're pretty much identical to the feel of the WRM V10, which is a 3x3 that they made. If you pick up the Aosu V7, do some turns, and then pick up the V10, do some turns, they feel pretty much the same. So my biggest worry before receiving the triple track version was that since there are 4 magnets in the internals, the worry was that it might be a bit too strong, like the magnetic pull, which could tire my hands out, like it did on some other 4x4s. But after breaking it in, it's not really an issue. The magnets aren't that strong at all, despite there being so much inside. And so is the outer layers, which is obviously not as strong as the outer layers. So overall, it's a pretty balanced magnet strength. Out of the box, the magnets might make it a bit too stiff to do the inner layers, sorry. As you can tell by the unboxing I did here, doing PLL parity with the inner slice moves is a little bit hard, but after some break-in and lube and stuff, it's normal, so you don't have to worry about that. So in short, is this the best 4x4 out right now? Yes, in my opinion. So of course this cube works well for me, but it might not work well for some other people. Despite how many magnets there are, the cube doesn't feel that heavy at all. In fact, it's probably lighter compared to the other flagships that are out right now. And if you get the other versions, being the dual track or the single track, they'll probably be even lighter because of less magnets in the cube. Some people might also not like the fact that it's small, because some people have big hands and they like bigger cubes, so they can't really get adjusted to the size that well. But if you don't really care about those at all, then this cube is the best 4x4 out right now, and you should get this over any other 4x4. And I'm being 100% serious. I'm not joking. I am not just being biased here. This is literally the best 4x4 out right now. I've only got this cube for 2 days, and then I immediately used it for a comp, and then I got a 20.31 PR single, which is 19th in the world, and then I immediately got a 24.93 in the same average as well, which is also a pretty good average for me.
Hello, this is Editing Leon. This cube also doesn't pop. I've done like over 200 solves on this thing and I haven't had a single pop. And when you have like a big lockup on this, which rarely happens, but when it does, you can just fix it really easily, unlike some other 4x4s where sometimes it may explode and stuff. So yeah, you don't have to worry about that when you get this cube.
Alright, now let's move on to the cube that you're probably waiting for the most, which is the Aochuang V6. So this cube also has 4 versions like the Aosu. They're all pretty much the same, so I'm not going to go over them. But instead of the magnets being in the internal edges, which there aren't on a 5x5 because it's not a layer cube, I don't have to explain that. The magnets are also on the lower part of the midges and the edge, like the center. So they also attract here as opposed to just here. So I don't really know the exact size of this cube. I've tried to look everywhere and I couldn't find it. But the Hong is 60 millimeters and it is actually smaller than the Hong. So I assume this is about maybe 59 to 59.5, around that range. So now let's talk about the actual feel of this cube. So this cube has the typical Moyu feel, but the actual feeling of the 5x5 is unlike any other 5x5 I've ever tried. It still has the classic crunchy and light feeling of any other typical Moyu cube. As for the magnets, they're not that strong as well. These magnets are actually much lighter than the Hong. Hong is pretty strong compared to this one. This is slightly less. Outer layers are pretty normal. They're not that strong as well. So yeah, you don't have to worry about the magnet strength being too strong or too light. These are just the correct strength. Now let's get to the big question. Is this the best 5x5 out in the market? I don't really know. So the thing is, if you compare this cube with the other flagship right now, being the GAN, these two cubes are two polar opposites. So this one is small and has a really crunchy feeling and very stable because of the ball core. But the GAN is a bigger cube and it's much more lighter because, you know, it's a GAN cube, so there's barely anything inside this cube, I swear. These two feel completely different. They don't feel anything alike because these two cubes fit very different people. So if you like the feel of Moyu cubes and you don't mind having a smaller size 5x5, then get this one. If you like the feeling of GAN cubes more and you don't really like small cubes that much, then get the GAN. But at the end of the day, they're both really good cubes, they're both really stable, and they're both really light, so both make a good choice. I've only got this cube for Tuesdays as well because I got it at the same time as the Aosu V7, and I've been getting pretty much the same times as I was on the GAN, and I even got a sub 40, so yeah, that's pretty cool. I've yet to use this at a comp because I'm not used to it yet, so we'll see in the next comp if I end up switching to this. So yeah, that's my review of the new Moyu Aochuang V6 and the Aosu V7. So in my opinion, yes, you should get these cubes over any other flagship right now, except maybe the 5.5. If you already have the GAN, then you get to try first the V6 if you like it or not. If not, then you can stick with the GAN, it's perfectly fine. For the Aosu though, just get this. Like, I'm being for real, just get this over any other 4x4. Okay, that's it for my review. Thank you for watching, bye-bye.